it's Miss Borhan. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. Now I want you to write the short date, 13th of the 5th, 2020, and the LI to compare decimals. Can you write the date in Roman numerals? Pause and write it down. Well done if you got that correct. Now before we get started, I just want you all to take a look at this diagram over here. So we have our decimal point, and after it we have our tenths, hundredths, and thousandths, and before the decimal point we have the ones, tens, and hundreds. So just look at this so that you avoid any confusion. And to the right of the decimal, the value of the number decreases, and to the left of the decimal, the value increases. So just take a look at that. So over here we have the number 34.7. So the 3 would represent the tens column, the 4, the ones, so we all know this. And after the decimal point, we start with the tenths, and then it goes on. So well done everyone. Now let's do some recap. I want you to answer these questions. Complete the equation. 1 equals 0.45 plus. Write 0.68 as a fraction. What decimal is shaded on the 100 square? And complete the part or model. So write this down in your exercise books or on your papers. Let's go through our answers now. 1 equals 0.45 plus 0.55. So remember, this one could go anywhere. So it could be 0.45 plus 0.55 equals 1. It doesn't matter where the equal side goes to, because we should know that on each side of the equal signs it would represent equal amounts, so don't let that confuse you. And 0.68 as a fraction would be 68 hundredths, 68 over 100. The decimal shaded is 0.34, so we could count in tens: 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So that would be as a fraction 34 hundredths. And then when we convert that to a decimal using our place value charts, so if you're still unsure of how to do that, go back to the links that I provided in the previous video, in our previous lesson. It's just a short clip and that'll help you out. And then it's 0.34, and the part whole model, so we have the whole, which is the 1, and we have 2 parts. So we have 0.4, which represents 4 tenths. So 4 tenths plus what equals 1? So the number sentence would be 0.4 plus 0.6 equals 1. And when we write that as a fraction, let's visualize this. It will be 4 tenths. And the denominator, the number below the vinculum, is 10. So we know that the answer should be 10 over 10, also known as a whole. So it would be 4 tenths plus 6 tenths equals to 10 tenths, which equals to 1. Well done if you got those correct. Now, we have some mathematical symbols here. I'm sure we've gone through these plenty of times in class and in your previous year's learning. What do they represent? Pause and have a think. greater than. First one is greater than. Second one is less than. And the third one is equal to. Well done if you got that correct. So now we have our place value grids over here. We have A and B. What number do each of these represent? Let's take a look. So we don't have anything in the ones column. Now we need to go to the tenths column to see. So we have 0.1, 0.1, which would be 2/10, and then we have 1/10. And in the hundredths column, we have 1/100, and in the second one, you count with me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 500. So now we're comparing these decimals. So we're trying to see which one is greater. So as you know, nothing in the ones, so we have to go straight to the tenth to figure this out. So already we can see that 2/10 is greater than 1/10. So we wouldn't even need to look through the hundredths column, but we will for now. There's 100ths and 500ths. So the first one would be 0.21, and the second one would be 0.15. So 0.21 is greater than 0.15, so A is greater than B, and the symbol that we would put is this. Let's take a look at another one. What do we have over here? So we have A, B, 2 ones, 2 ones, 3/10, 3/10. So these two columns are the same. So because they're the same, we have to look through the hundredths column. So let's take a look through that. We have 200ths and 400ths. So what number is represented over here? First one, 2.32, and the second one, 2.34. As the ones and the tenths are the same for both, we look through the hundredths and we can see that 4 is greater than 2. So the symbol that we would put is this. B is greater than A. Great. Now let's take a look at this. Which one do you think is greater? Pause and have a think. So you need to remember that it's not about the number of counters that are present, rather it's about where they're placed in the grid that gives it its value. So someone may look at this, if they had no knowledge of place value, and think A is greater because there's more counters, but we know that's not the case. Let's take a look. So automatically, when I look at this, I see B and I see 1, I'll know that B is greater. I wouldn't even need to look at A or the other columns. But we'll do this together for now, just so that we know how to read these grids. So the first one, A, we have 0 ones. How many tenths do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how many hundredths? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would be 0.56. And B, it would be 1.01. So so we don't have anything in the tenths column. So we would place 0 as a placeholder. So what symbol would we put? We would put that B is greater than A. And A is less than B. Let's take a look through this reasoning style question. Sally put this symbol to indicate that 0.32 is the larger number. Is she correct? Use your mathematical reasoning to explain your answer. So I want you all to have a think about your place value charts, your place value counters, and write this down. Excellent. Let's take a look through our answer. So we have 0.4 and 0.32. So although 32 is larger than 4, what do these digits really represent? What do these numbers really represent? It doesn't mean 4 and 32, so that's a misconception that many people have. That's why we will never say 0.32. We always have to say 0.32. So actually, Sally was wrong. 0.4 is greater number. Let's see why. So what does 0.4 represent? It's 4/10, and in hundredths is 40 hundredths. So remember our equivalent fractions. If we were to represent this on a 100 grid, it would be 1, 4, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 rows, and in each row there are 10. And if you count it all together, you would get 40. So already we can see this is the tenths column. So remember, we always look after the decimal point, we always look towards the tenths column to see which number is greater. Already we can see that 0.4 is greater, because what is the tenths column in 0.32? Pause and have a think. In the tenths column we have 3, and 3 is smaller than 4. So that would be written as 32 hundredths, and 32 hundredths is less than 40 hundredths. So we would place the symbol like this to show that 0.4 is greater. Well then, if you got that correct. If not, you can go through the slide again and listen to the reasoning. Okay, let's try this. Try this yourself now. So write these in your book and put the correct symbols. Excellent. Let's go through the answers. The first one was just same as what we went through, 0.9 and 0.14, so it's not 0.14. So 0.9 is greater because it's 9/10. Okay, the tenths column. 1.02 is greater than 0.89 because we have our ones over here. And 0.7, 7/10 is greater than 0.07, 7 hundredths. Well done if you got those correct. And now, write these in your book. Complete the missing digits to make the statements correct. There could be more than one possible answer, so pause and really take a think. Let's go through it. So the first one could have been 3.18 or 3.19. They're both greater than 3.17. So the ones column we had 3, and in the tenths column we had 1. So in the hundredths column we could have 8 or 9. And in the second one we could have 0.99, 1.99, 2.99 or 3.99 to show that they are less than 4. So 4 is greater here as well. And in the third one, we had 1.08, 1.18, and 1.28. They're all less than 1.3. So 1.3 is the greater number. So now we have some tasks that will be put on the Year 4 online learning platform. Now, based on how confident you feel to the stars for the indication, you have the worksheet, question 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can do only those 4 questions. And if you want to challenge yourself, you can complete the rest of the questions. And once you're done, the answers will also be online, and you can mark it with a purple pen and check where you went wrong and amend and correct your answers. And I'd love it if you take a picture of your work and send it over to year4@grange.sch.uk. Thank you for everyone who's already sending in their work. We'd love to receive it and give you feedback. Well done, everyone.